So what you're going to learn in this video is the most important graph in the entire universe. And I know that's a big claim, but let me just explain to you exactly why. And when you look around you and you look at the results you have in life, this is the exact graph that explains why everything around you is the way it is. And if you're happy with the things that are around you, this graph is going to show you why you're happy with the things around you. And if you're not happy with the life that you have around you, then this graph is going to show you exactly why the life around you is how it is, but then it's going to show you exactly what you need to do and how you need to change in order to benefit in the future. Now, it's a very simple graph, and this is the graph right here. And you can see there's a few different parts to it. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to be breaking down these few different parts. And this point is going to probably take me 3 or 4 or even 5 minutes to explain. And if you're unable to stick around for the full explanation, then once again, this graph is going to show you why you can't stick around for the full explanation. And it's also going to show you why, if you can't stick around, you're shooting yourself in the foot and how you're not going to get anything that you want in the rest of your life. Now, let's get into it. Why this graph is the most important graph in the world and how it's going to change your life. And there's a couple parts to the graph, and the first one is memory. And you can clearly see down here, this is the first part of the graph. We've got memory on one axis and we've got time on the other axis. And this is a very simple point to explain. And the best way to explain it is through asking you what you had for lunch today. So, what did you have for lunch today? Chances are you're able to answer that question pretty quickly. You know exactly what you had for lunch today because it was probably just a few hours ago, or maybe you haven't even had lunch today. Now, what did you have for lunch yesterday? You're probably just about able to recall it. And what did you have for lunch a week ago? What did you have for lunch a month ago? And what did you have for lunch a year ago today? You don't know that answer because, very simply, and this is a simple point, this is nothing incredible, as time goes by, memory fades. Of course it does. You can remember what you did today, but you can't remember what you did a month ago or even a year ago, let alone 10 years ago or whenever when you were 5 years old. Of course you can't remember that. This is nothing groundbreaking. Now, the next point, and this is part 2, this is talking about results. And put very simply that the results you get today are not from today. The results you get today are from years ago. The results you get today are not from the actions you took today, but they're from the actions that you took years ago. And let me explain why, because this one's a little bit more complex. And again, these two concepts in and of itself, memory and results, it's nothing incredible. But when you link the two, incredible things will start to happen. So let me explain to this with a few examples. The first one is reading a book. When you read a book, you don't get the results straight away. Of course you don't. You don't get the incredible, crazy results straight away. Instead, you read the book to accumulate knowledge that you can apply later on in life when that situation may come about. And over time, you're able to use that knowledge again and again and again, so that book that you read becomes more useful over time. The knowledge you get accumulates, and there's an exponential effect of the results you get over time. Another example is meditating. If you sit down and you meditate for 10 minutes a day, you're not going to receive any benefits for the rest of the day. You're not going to have insane focus. You're not going to have a reduction in anxiety. None of that's going to happen. Of course, it takes time. So the benefits you get from meditating will take time to come about. The next one, revising for exam. If you've got an exam in 6 months' time, you sit down, you revise for an hour. You will receive literally 0 benefits from that revision straight away. Instead, you're going to get the benefits when you sit the exam, when you do well in the exam, but in reality, that's not even when you're going to get the benefits. You're going to get the benefits of that revision session, not during the exam, but after the exam, when you get a good grade, and after you get a good grade, when you get a good job, and after when you get a good job. All of the amazing benefits that you get from getting a good job. Put very simply, the benefits you get from revising happen over time. Another one, planting seeds as a farmer. If you plant a seed as a farmer today, you're not going to get any benefit from that today. Instead, it's going to take 6 months or so time when you're able to harvest the fruit or the seeds that you planted many, many months later. The final example is me recording this video, and I'm going to get more onto this with some real case studies of the videos I've recorded later on and the results I'm getting from this YouTube channel later on in this video. But very simply, me sitting down and recording this video, apart from getting a little excited, I'm not going to receive any benefit from recording this right now. In reality, I'll get some results tomorrow when I upload this video, but in reality, the results I get will come from a year's time or 2 years' time or even 10 years' time. Now, why does this happen? Why is it though that although we have the equation that every result causes an opposite and equal reaction, or every action causes an equal and opposite reaction, but why do we only see the reaction to the action over time? Well, that's for a few reasons. The first one is second order consequences. What this means is that the actions you take now don't just have a direct effect that in the way that most humans think about it. Let me explain it to you, because most people think that if I revise for this exam, then yeah, maybe I'm going to do better in the exam. But that's not the only benefit you're going to get from revision. In reality, lots of different things are going to happen, because when you do better at that exam, you're more likely to get into university. And when you get into university, you're more likely to get into a good job. And you see, by revising, you're not just getting better in the exam, you're getting a better university and you're getting a better job at the end of it. And that better job is going to have its own set of consequences. For example, getting a better job, you'll get more money, which you're able to use for more things. Another example, if I go to the gym today, then that's going to increase my likelihood of going to the gym tomorrow. So I'm not only getting the benefits of going to the gym today, but I'm also getting the second order benefits. Maybe I'm fitter or maybe I'm healthier, which lets me live longer, which has its own set of consequences. So every action you take doesn't just have the direct consequence that you most often think about. In reality, it has second order consequences, third order consequences, fourth order consequences, and fifth and sixth, and so on and so on. And so you get this huge field where the actions that you take have a tiny effect on everything else that's going on in your life. The second reason why the results that you get happen over time is that the habits that you create. I kind of touched on this earlier before I directed my answer in a different way. Like I said, if I go to the gym today, not only am I going to the gym today, but I'm implementing the habit of going to the gym, which means I'm going to go tomorrow and reap the benefits of going tomorrow and the day after and the day after and the day after that. So the second reason why every action has an opposite and equal reaction, but that reaction only comes after time, is because of habits. And if you're not really understanding why I'm saying this to you, when the graphs link up and I explain, everything's going to make so much sense and you'll fully understand the power of what I'm saying. The third reason is skills. If you revise now, or you do something now, maybe it's reading or writing, you are learning skills, and that skill is going to be used again and again and again and again and again over time. So you're not just reaping the benefits instantly, you're reaping the benefits again and again and again as time goes by. Another reason why every action has an equal and opposite reaction, but the reaction takes time. The fourth reason is compounding. Einstein says that the eighth wonder of the world is the compound effect. And he wasn't just talking about the compound interest you get on money. He's saying that the actions that you take compound over time because of these three reasons, like I said. And you can clearly see this in the last graph right here, that at the moment, if you take an action today, you don't get many results today. But over time, you can slowly see that the results you get from this singular action increases incredibly. Now, this is when it gets really interesting, because what happens when these two graphs cross over? Well, this is what happens when these two graphs go over. So the time today, and this is discussing you, or this is showing an action that you take today. So say right here, you take an action today. You have a very, very, very vivid memory of taking this action. You can clearly remember everything that you did today, but you don't get any results from it today. You can clearly see that here, that you take an action today, here's time, the action today, you've got a clear memory of doing it, but you don't get any results from doing it. Now, let's look at what happens in 10 years' time. Say this is 10 years' time. The action that you took, you're getting the results from it in 10 years' time, but you can barely remember doing it. There's a disconnect from the actions you're receiving and the results that you're receiving and the action that it took you to get these results. So look here. Say right here, you're doing stuff and you're meditating every day for 7 days, and it's got to this point. You have a clear memory of you meditating for 7 days in a row, but you're not seeing any results whatsoever. You're barely seeing any results from meditating. And this is why most people give up, and this is why it gets so huge. This explains exactly why most people fail to implement habits, whether it's exercising, eating healthily, meditating, journaling, or whatever the case may be. Because after a short period of time, they are unable to see the results, but they have a clear memory of doing it. Now let's fast forward to 10 years time. And this works if it's a positive situation or a negative situation. Let's start off with a negative situation. Someone here, the results that they're getting from their actions are huge. All of the actions that they took later on in life have caught up to them, and they're now experiencing all of the results of the actions they took previously. But they barely remember doing those things that they did previously. They barely remember being lazy. They barely remember not going to the gym. They barely remember all of the actions that have taken them up to today. See, memory is low, but the results they get are high. And because of this, they then blame external circumstances. They say the reason that I'm overweight or the reason that I'm unhappy is from the government, the people around me, my friend, my family, my wife, my partner, whatever the case may be. Because they don't remember all of the actions that took them up to this result, they then blame other people because they don't remember the actions that they took. Instead, if it's a positive situation, people are in a good place, they think, what got me to here? They can barely remember all of the years that they spent grinding and all of the years they spent putting in all of the effort. They're just receiving all of these incredible, amazing benefits, but they barely remember what caused all of these benefits. So you can see it works in the positive way and the negative way. But if it's the negative way, you can see why people give up. And an example of this for me, an applicable example that I saw this in my life. In the last 90 days, my YouTube channel has got 1.3 million views and 16.4 thousand subscribers. And I fell prey to falling for this graph because I was saying to myself, what have I been doing recently that has got me all of these incredible results? What am I doing? I need to do more of what I've been doing. In the last month, what have I done differently? But this is where I'm falling prey to this graph. I'm forgetting this graph. In reality, the results I'm getting are not from this month, but they're from all of the years where I was getting no results. It is all compounded for the reasons that I talked about here. The second order consequences, the habits I was creating, the skills I was gaining, and the compounding effect over time. So this result, the 1.3 million views in 90 days, is not from anything I've done recently. Instead, it's from all of the things that I did over time. And that's just an applicable example. So put very simply, the core message of everything I'm saying, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's just simple cause and effect. It's simple physics, and it applies to every single area of your life. Every action that you take, every decision that you make, every thought that you think, that will have an equal and opposite reaction. If it's a positive action, it will be a positive result. If it's a negative action, it will be a negative result. But the reaction always happens over time, and this is the bit that most people don't realize. This is the bit that most people forget about. Of course, the actions that you take don't have instant results. They always happen over time, and that time will be exponential. Just like in the graph that we showed, the results that you get will start off small and they'll get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger over time. Now, this is why that the results that you have today, when you look around you and you look in your bank and you look at your fitness and you look at your relationship, all of these things are from tiny decisions that you've made over the past years. Where you are in life at the moment, and I hope that I've proved this to you through my graph, is a result from all of the decisions and the thoughts and the actions that you've made previously. That's it. Which means that where you will be in 5 years' time will be a result of the actions you take between now and the next 5 years' time. Think of yourself as in control of where you end up in life. There is no benefit of not being in control of your life. There's no point in being a victim to external circumstances. If you put yourself in the driver's seat and you say that where I'm going to be in 5 years' time is a result of what I do, then you are able to take control of your life and you're able to be the captain of your ship. Now, this is very difficult because, like I said, the actions that you take, you will only start to see the benefits over time. But we live in a world of instant gratification. You upload a photo to Instagram and you get all of these comments and likes back instantly. You talk to someone and you get all of this feedback back instantly. You play a game and you get instant gratification. But in reality, like I've just explained to you, the results you get happen delayed over time. And if you live in this world of instant gratification, you are never going to be able to get the results you want because you're always going to give up because you're going to get this far along in the graph and then you're going to think, oh no, I'm not getting any results. I'm getting this much results at this time, so I'm just going to quit. And that's so difficult because of the instant gratification world that we live in. Now, the whole moral of this story is that you must remember, and that this is something I've been reminding myself of every single day, that every decision you make is compounded over time for the 4 reasons that I wrote earlier. So if you make a simple, small decision now, where it's easy to justify, oh, one day won't matter, one day won't make too much of a difference. If I miss the gym today, no one's going to die. If I eat a cupcake today, no one's going to die. But remember that that decision is compounded over time because of the reasons I talked about earlier, because of the second order consequences of doing that thing, because of the habits that you're creating when you do that thing, because of the skills you're gaining when you do that thing, and because of the compounding effect which just naturally happens over time. And finally, remind yourself that every action has an opposite and equal reaction, but the reaction is separated over time. Remind yourself of this relentlessly, because this is what's going to be separating you from the people around you, separating you from your competitors. Most people want things, they want them now. But if you can play in the long run, you are going to live in a world where it's just incredible. And I have been reminding myself of this daily, and I'm starting to see the results where I'm just able to beat competitors because they're playing the short run. If you read Amazon's letters to their shareholders, Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, he wrote letters to his shareholders. And the thing that he wrote repetitively was that he is playing the long run. He is going to play the long run. And look where it got him. Now, whether or not business is your area of expertise, you can apply this to every single area of your life. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, I want you to give it a like, comment anything you've got to say down below in the description, down below in the comment section, and if you're new around here, then go ahead and click the subscribe button if you want to improve your life day by day by day. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much.